Welcome everybody to the HCK podcast, man. Today I got a special guest. Now I'm thinking about it because she just told me her last name. But anyway, special guest on the podcast is Dayna today. Welcome, Dayna. How do you feel, man?
I feel good. I feel pretty good today.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You guys don't know, I've been trying to get Dayna on this podcast. It felt like forever.
It's been like almost 2 years.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah,
that makes me look bad.
Maybe it's been a year.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, a year, because the typhoon was last year.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. Okay, yeah. That sounds a lot better. But still, like, damn, why is it taking us
Look, you're a busy guy.
No, not
you're a
true.
Busy guy.
Not true. Because what? Like, people always make time for what they actually want to do. It's just, you did come by the last time. We were supposed to do a podcast, but you weren't in 100% health.
Yeah, I was sick.
Yeah.
On the way over. I felt so bad.
I mean, it happens. It happens.
Does it though? I was driving and then I was just like, yeah, I don't feel too well. But I still came and then you're like, yeah, let's not. Let's reschedule.
Yeah, you were still trying to toughen it out and actually like do the podcast.
You didn't let me.
I commend. I didn't.
Yeah.
Just because I want you to be at 100%. Now I have you at 100%.
I'm at 100% now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're lifting.
Dude,
you're so amazing. Do you understand? I think like most people that are actually like goated, I don't really necessarily think they have a clue of what they really do. And what I mean in regards to the amount of few people that are capable of actually doing or achieving what you're able to achieve. You know what I mean? So like with that being said, how does that make you feel?
I don't feel like you said goated. I definitely don't feel like that. I mean, I don't know. I lift. I just go to the gym and just lift stuff and just lift a little more than everybody else. Go to nationals a couple times. Go to worlds. Not this last time, but yeah, I mean, I don't, it doesn't feel special to me. It just feels like it's just a part of life. Just something that I do.
And it's just been ingrained from you from birth, or what is that? No.
So I got into lifting because I almost failed a PT test. So I started to see the decline in my PT test. I was going out a lot, drinking a lot and everything. And then I was like, well, I need to get my act together because this next test I might not pass. And then it would just, be on the trend. I think in the Air Force at the time, it was if you failed 3 or 4 PT tests, then they would just kick you out, failure to adhere to standards or whatever. And so I'm like, well, let me get my act together because I'm not ready to start, even thinking about getting out right now. So I started running because it was the run and the push-ups. So I started running. I was like, I'll run for 30 days and then I'll go to the gym for 30 days. Mind you, I don't know anything about programming, how the body works. So I'm thinking I'll just pick up where I left off, right?
Yeah.
So ran for 30 days, saw my time getting better. I'm like, all right, let me do some push-ups. Knew nothing about the gym, went in there. And then after a week, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to run again. I just kind of stayed there. So I did the gym rat thing for a little while. And then a couple years later, I did a bodybuilding competition. I did 2. I did one in Misawa, and then I did one at Yokota. And then after the one at Yokota, I said, you know what? Maybe bodybuilding isn't for me. So then I converted over to powerlifting full time.
Yeah, I always forget you've been out here quite some time too, huh?
Yeah, so this is my second tour in Japan. So the first time I was out here like 2011 to 14.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, and then I was at Misawa, and now I'm here at Kadena.
Which one you prefer?
They both have their pros and cons. Misawa definitely has, there's definitely like, I feel like a better relationship with the military and the locals than here. Because, here it's always like, some people are always fighting, stuff's always happening. But Misawa, I feel like it was a lot better. But it's also a lot slower. It's the countryside and everything. Here, it has I like it because I like the weather when it's nice. The beaches. Yeah.
That could be a numbers thing too, right? There's a heavy footprint of U.S. That's here versus Misawa.
Yeah,
Misawa, there's not such a damning footprint as Oki, so that could be a definite cause for why there's a little bit less.
Yeah, there weren't protests at the gate every Friday at Misawa, but they each have their pros and cons.
Nearly failing a PT test, I would never expect that from you.
It happens.
That's insane. How long? Well, this was, you said 2013?
Yeah, like 2013. But the crazy thing is, after that, I started getting into fitness and everything. I still failed my PT test. And it was because I was sick. I'm always sick. So it was because I was sick. I had I just had I had like an upper respiratory infection, and I was coming overdue for my test, and so I took it instead of going overdue, and I failed it. And my senior yelled at me. Well, we were cool, but she yelled at me for not going overdue. She was like, "You should have just went overdue instead of failing." And I was like, "Oh, it's no big deal." And then a couple years later, kind of sort of bit me because, like for our EPRs, our performance reports, they go back like a couple years and they look and they say, "Oh, well, you failed a PT test." And it's like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm not going to recommend you for promotion," or just stuff like that. Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah.
Still, I'm still a little bit dumbfounded because the PT test, at least, I'm not even trying to bring up like the whole military stuff. I don't even so care to stay on this topic too long, but failing PT test is huge, and I know like the Air Force PT test isn't ridiculously hard to begin with.
Not.
So
it's not.
I'm a little bit like
you get a little carried away with parties and stuff like that, and you don't take care of yourself. And yeah, it's easy to fail. That 1.5 mile run just becomes.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's trust me, it happened. It happened to me.
No, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying, we still party and show up for PT the next day as long as you puke guts
but
out.
We don't PT every day though.
Yeah. Okay. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm disappointed.
In me? Yeah. I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah. No, but anyways, you're here now and you're fantastic, dude. Your numbers are spectacular. You just came back from where?
I just came back from nationals.
Talk to me about it.
So this nationals.
You weren't happy when I saw you.
Not at all. No, not at all. So this nationals, it was prep going into nationals was my best prep that I've ever done. And I was talking to my coach, and he was like, "Yeah." So we had we had some numbers to hit. We had a range of numbers. He was like, "This is what you can hit on the high end. This is what you can hit on the low end." And I'm like, "Yeah, this." I didn't think it was gonna be easy, but for the first time in powerlifting, I was confident in myself and what I had done in training. And then I go to the meet, and it just didn't happen. So I got 4th overall. So no worlds this year, no North American regionals, but I may have a meet coming up.
So, were those two things on the line?
Yes. So so Worlds 2024 was going to be is the qualifier for World Games 2025. So basically what World Games is, I don't want to say it's like the Olympics, but it's a high level of competition, basically Olympic level competition for sports that aren't in the Olympics. So I think
are those like the CrossFit games that you see? And I could be totally wrong.
No. I know that powerlifting's in it. I didn't really look at, honestly, any other sports because I was just so focused on, because I knew people going to World Games. Yeah. So I know powerlifting is in it. And people were just like, this is it. A lot of people cross over from other federations to go to Worlds. And then if you go to Worlds this year, if you hit the podium, I think top 3 from each weight class goes to World Games 2025. And it's every 4 years.
Wow, so you just missed it.
Yeah. Well, top 3 at Worlds. So you have to win nationals, and then you have to podium at Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So still had a bit of a ways to go.
Yeah. Even still, yeah. It was supposed to be my best meet, and it wasn't. And I had numbers in mind that I wanted to hit. I couldn't, just couldn't execute that day. And, it is what it is. I'm slowly starting to put it behind me because I was
devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a little bit. And so just every time I go into the gym now, it's just just focus, and there's always a meet to go to. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you flowers, man, Dayna. I've always since I saw you first time, you've always been dedicated. You've always been very down to earth and just to yourself, and just you're not here for the bullshit. You're here to work.
Yeah.
And I've always admired that about you. And your discipline has been renowned, you know what I mean, from since I've met you.
Yeah.
I've only known you for at least 2 years, probably a little bit long, but we haven't necessarily had a full conversation until like now.
Yeah.
We normally just say hi and bye in the gym, or like if
like
Ian's
small
around.
little conversations.
We normally shoot the shit a little bit, but nothing to this degree.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you're here, and I apologize for you didn't get the outcome that you actually expected to get.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there's another meet on the horizon.
Yeah, that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, if I ever get the email, so I'm waiting on the invite. Hopefully, I get the invite. I was told that there's gonna be an invite, so hopefully I made it.
Oh, and that's what we're expecting, right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about that. But before you do, I do want to touch a little bit on in regards to prep. You mentioned that this was the best prep that you've ever had.
Yeah.
So what are you actually looking for in your prep to determine that?
So in terms of training, just how numbers are trending. So every time I put numbers in my training log, my coach, he gives me my training, and then how easy or how difficult a lift is and stuff. Well, I had a couple hiccups, but stuff was, for the most part, it was pretty easy. Normally the block before prep, so like the 6 weeks before the meet prep block, numbers are trending up, and then I'll have like I'm close to a meet, so I got to start hitting 1 rep maxes. I'll go off training, and this has been like a trend for a while for me. And I just get
you deviate
and I just because I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, I know that I'm supposed to hit let's say 100 pounds in my training, but I'm gonna go for 150 because I got a meet coming up. I just want to make sure that it's there instead of So I would do that a lot, and so my numbers would just soar up. And then like the thing about strength training is that you don't always go up. It's like peaks and valleys, and then mine would just come crashing down. Then my coach is like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then and that's what usually will happen during prep. And so then during the meet prep block, so the couple weeks before the meet, I'm like in the deficit trying to build back up. So this block stuck to the training like I was supposed to. I did have like a couple injuries, but I stuck to the training and numbers were trending like they were supposed to. And then hit the meet prep block, and then the numbers were still going up, still doing what they were supposed to do. And then get to the meet, and it just wasn't there that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting, right? Because obviously you're competing at one of the highest levels you could compete at. But when I think of weight training, I think you only lose gain, or a novice like me, and I think a lot of people that are beginners or not necessarily as educated or informative as you, that dives into the diet, that dives into the numbers and how everything should look. I think the only time that you actually lose or you'd lose gain from hitting a max or something, an example would be if you weren't consistent. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's how normal people think. I think you only start to become weaker if you're in the gym onesies and twosies and you're not consistent.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily, or you don't normally think that you'd be losing strength even though you're consistent, right?
Yeah.
So is that like I probably didn't get enough rest that day? Or am I a little jet lag from the flight? It could be all of those things, right? Yeah. And then is it your job to actually try to go in there and figure out what was off that day? Or do you look at it that way?
For the meet?
Yeah, do you look at it
that way? So I think
way?
Travel does play a part in it. I'm for a national meet, I'm traveling internationally. Luckily this time it was only 18 hours of travel versus the 23, 24 hours of travel. So I try to get there a couple days early. I'm still, jet lagged, but, I'm hyped off of caffeine. I don't even say hyped. I'm just trying to stay awake off of caffeine. I do try to, this meet, I did try to get some rest, but I'll just wake up in the middle of the night because I'm nervous. And I just got this smartwatch and it's tracking my heart rate. My heart rate was just through the roof. And I'm like, I got to calm down because I'm always nervous before meets. But, just trying to, I think it was this year, there was competition. So the previous years, so Power Lifter America is a relatively new federation. There's like a whole story behind it, but they're a new federation. And in my weight class, no shade to the other ladies that I competed against, but there wasn't like a challenge for me. So I could. No, don't. Because like people say that, but it's like, like I said, no shade to other ladies. Well, all of them were like fine competitors, but it was like there was no challenge for me. There was challenges in the other federation, and so the first year there was no challenge, so it was pretty much a walk in the park to Worlds. The second year I was kind of hoping that there would be a challenge, and then like nothing happened. Like nobody else popped up. It was pretty much like the same group of ladies. And then this year it was like all kinds of people came over, and I was like, yes, finally a challenge. And I didn't rise to the occasion.
Oh wow. Yeah. Wow. So you don't feel like you were outperformed. You knew that you could compete, or even outperform your challengers. It's just you didn't show up that day.
Yeah. I think this next meet coming up, I think it's gonna be a different meet.
Yeah. Well, we hope. It's always different, right?
I feel like it's gonna be a different meet.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was confident before. I'm always confident and not cocky. I walked into a situation before where I was really cocky about something, and I was humbled real quick. And I'm like, I would never do that again. So always confident. Well, confident, but not cocky. This meet coming up, still the same. Like, I'm confident that I'm going to do well, and I'm confident that what I do at this meet, I should have done at nationals.
I agree. Confidence and cocky is always such a fine line, right?
Yeah, I think it's how you carry yourself, though. Like, you could be confident about something, but like, I think that if you're cocky about something, then you're being kind of like a jerk about it.
Yeah, you're being a bit arrogant. Yeah. Cockiness does give you that taste of a bit of it doesn't taste right, but confidence always tastes the best. Yeah. But even so, me knowing you, and you saying like, yeah, honestly, I don't feel like there's competition. I know you're not that type of person and be like you're above anybody.
Yeah, I just want to put that out there. I don't want people to think, oh man, she out here,
that's true.
She's cocky, because she's so arrogant. Yeah,
because they don't.
No, that's not the case at all.
I know you. That's why I'm like. I mean, if you said it, I'm like, yeah, Dayna didn't have any competition. Yeah, it's not like I'm second guessing you. You know what I mean? Because I know who you are. But for them, absolutely.
Yeah, just want to put that out there. Like, I'm never like. I don't think I'm above anybody, you know.
But I think they could tell by just based on your demeanor too. Like, you don't come off like that. You know?
I hope not.
Yeah, people are very, like, we like to think that people are like actually like retarded. Can you say retarded?
I don't think you can anymore. I don't think it'll cancel.
You know what's so funny?
Hit that cancel button.
Yeah. I'm gonna bleep that. I did a podcast and the other dude, he said the F-bomb on there. You know, like when you were a kid, you think the F-bomb would be the F.
You're talking about
the other one. Yeah. So he said the other one. I was like, bro, it's such a crazy time, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna get me canceled. Like, you can't be saying that on this podcast. Yeah. Like, stop it.
Can we cuss on here?
Yeah, you can curse. Cursing is fine. Right. I even forgot my train of thought though. I think I was saying though, but I think people would judge off your demeanor, right? Yeah. Like, you're not that type of person. And what I was saying is, people should be given more credit for just based off of first impressions. Yeah, you can kind of judge who a human being are. I'm not saying you know them, saying you can kind of judge just a little bit, right? So what's on the future horizon? Because we talked about it briefly.
Yeah. So are you familiar with powerlifting?
No.
Okay, so I'm totally in powerlifting, there's this SBD has a meet in the UK. It's called Sheffield, and it's the champion of champions. Basically,
shouts out to the sponsorship.
Shout out to SBD.
Right.
Link in my bio.
There's
they have this big meet. It's the champions, basically like world champions. They're collected together, 12 men, 12 women, and they are battling it out. And instead of going off of like good lift points or dots or Wilks or anything like that, they're going off of world record percentage. So these people are coming in and they're trying to smash the world records in their relative weight classes. So what SBD has done is it's called Sheffield. So now they have one in the US. It's going to be in July in North Carolina. It's called Raleigh. It's basically the same concept, but it's American records. So you go there, and if you can, beat your American record, tie it, whatever, whoever beats their record in their respective weight class by however much percent, then, there's money involved and everything. So it's a big meet, and I'm just waiting on the email.
Wink, wink. Yeah, send it an email. Stop playing SBD before we come. No. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. So how long have you been powerlifting?
Powerlifting for like, this will be 7 years. 7 years this July.
Wow, congrats. And then lifting in general. Well, you mentioned that you did bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily
like 6 months. It's enough to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't knock it at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting 6 months.
You're expecting longer?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
6 months. Well, it was like 6 months of prep, and then I did 2 shows back to back.
And immediately it was like,
yeah, because the second show, so I lost on the second show. It was 8 people, 8 women, and 7th and 8th got participation trophies or medals, and then I got 6th.
Yeah.
And the audience was booing, and at the end of it,
wait.
Yeah.
8th and 7th got participation medal trophies, and the 6th got nada.
Well, I got a trophy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all you guys got participation trophies.
Yeah, basically.
Crazy.
And so when I got 6th, because this is the one I walked in like super, I'm gonna beat her.
Oh, super cocky.
Yeah, super cocky.
Yeah.
Not cocky, just like overly cocky. I'm like, I'm gonna come in there, like how vascular, everything. So when I got 6, I was like, yo, hold on. Like, what is this? And then I asked the judges, because at the end you can ask the judges and get feedback, and they're like, oh, you need to work on your posing. There was one lady there, her posing was like the other girls, because we're like in the wings backstage watching. They're like, what is she doing? And I'm like, she beat me, but I got to work on my posing. And then they told me that I was too big for the category. I'm 5'10". I was 147 pounds at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe 145 pounds. So I'm like real small.
What category?
Figure. Because that's the only category they had. And they told me that I was too big for the category. And mind you, at this time, I'm following bodybuilding like I know who all the men, all the women, like professional bodybuilders are. And they told me I was too big for figure. I need to be in bodybuilding. I said, what? And then they told me I got to work on my posing. And then I just looked at them, and they weren't even like, 1 was an actual, no, 2 were actual judges. But then I think like the other 2, they were just gym bros. And I'm like, how is this guy who just goes to the gym and quarter squats all the time, how's he going to tell me?
Yeah.
So I was kind of upset. And I was very upset.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I don't care about abs. I don't care about none of this. I just want to be strong.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Sports always seems to be slacking when it comes to the actual like officials and judges that actually have the power to, grant winners and losers.
Yeah.
Every single sport, I can't name a sport that doesn't have a problem. What 1 or 2 that really comes to mind that's I think a huge issue would probably be the UFC. That's more mainstream. Which is bad calls, right? And then you mention it now, but bodybuilding, it's always weird, like who judges and officials are. Yeah,
bodybuilding is very subjective, and I was like,
it is very subjective.
I'm gonna go to powerlifting because either you lift the weight or you don't. There's still politics involved.
True.
I got caught up in that too.
For real?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta educate me.
Okay, so in powerlifting, at the international level, I think at the national level too, you have a jury. It's 3 members. So you have, is it 3 or 5? No, I think it's 3. You have your refs, right? You have your refs on the platform, and they're like judging. They're the judges. And then you have the jury that sits off the platform, but they have a TV screen, and they can look at the replays. So the aim is always to get 3 white lights. All the refs say that the lift is good. If you get 1 red, and I believe if you get 1 red, then the jury can intervene if they don't like it, and they can overturn it. So your lift was good. The jury looked at it like, you know what? Nah, it's not good. And then they overturn it. But I've also seen the jury overturn lifts that were 3 white lights. So all the refs said it was good, and the jury's like, no. And then it gets turned into a bad lift. I think that was my first Worlds experience. I was just watching the live stream, and I was like, how did they have so much power? And then the meet that I was at, last Worlds in Malta, they were overturning a lot of good lifts. So I think they were maybe 2 white lights and a red light, and the jury would just overturn it. Nope, bad lift. And I'm like, what's the point of the refs?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're just going to overturn everything.
Yeah.
So my issue was my arms don't straighten out all the way. So whenever I bench, it looks like my arms aren't straight. And so my first worlds, the head ref, she made me re-rack the weight before she gave me the start command. She was like, straighten your elbows. And I'm like, they are straight. And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, okay. So last worlds, I told the refs, hey, look, my arms don't straighten out. They're like, okay, cool. Just let us know, point to your elbows when you come through, and like, we'll remember. I said, okay. So did that. And then on my last one, which would have been a PR, I got 2 white lights and a red light, right?
Yeah.
And the jury overturned it. Like, the lift was good. I got the start command, started, got the press command and rack command all on point. And then one referee was like, no, for whatever reason. And then the jury's like, yeah, that's not a good lift. Because I think they were looking at my arms.
Oh.
They said I didn't do lockout. And I'm like, I literally can't, like, my elbows, they just look like they're bent.
Yeah, I mean, but that's locked out to me. That looks locked out.
Oh, well, to them it didn't.
Yeah.
So they said I wasn't locked out. It wouldn't have made a difference at the end. I still wouldn't have won, but still, it's just like the jury has way too much power, I feel, personally.
I always find it funny when you see like the refs and officials look like they've never been around the sport, but they're the ones that are in charge.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I feel like you should at least look the part somewhat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to be in the best shape, but you know what I mean? At least like hold some type of standard.
Yeah.
Man, how many actually are there? I don't know. I'm so uneducated on this stuff, like worlds, nationals.
Yeah.
Like, all I know is every time I see Dayna, she's prepping to go travel and lift some heavy shit.
Yeah.
Legit. And it seems like you've probably done that in my small amount of time of knowing you, probably like 4 or 5 times. Where you're actually traveling.
Yeah, every meet. I've been traveling to every meet because I live here in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm a part of Power Lifter America, so I have to do American nationals. So I have to travel there. So nationals and worlds, probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah. I think honestly this probably is the 5th.
Yeah, something Seriously. Like that. Yeah.
Cause, did you do somewhere in the UAE?
Where was it? Was in Malta and South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, I went to South Africa. I had traveled through UAE. Okay. South Africa, yeah.
You did that one. You just did the recent one. Then we did one around was it Riz? It wasn't Riz going away. It was somebody else's going away that we met up at.
Sean.
At
that
Fogo,
yeah.
Yeah,
where I got charged like, what was it, $80, and all I had was some lettuce or something like that, because I was trying to go over my macros. Yeah. I'm like, and I'm like, hey, I was, I still haven't been back to that place.
I brought up a sore spot.
Yeah. All I had like a small, like, it was mainly lettuce.
It was all lettuce.
Yeah, and then I didn't even have the dessert. I didn't even have the warm pineapple. I told y'all about it. I'm like, yo, get the warm pineapple. Let me know what it tastes like.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah.
You was about to leave to go lift some heavy shit.
Then I get the bill. I just said $80. I'm like, hold on, my guy. $80 for this? I just had lettuce. He's like, I don't know. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That's that place.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting though? What's funny about that particular situation? And if you were anywhere else, or let me not say that, if you were in the States, you could probably get away with saying like, "Hey, I just ordered a salad. Like, I'm not paying $80."
Yeah.
They'd probably be reasonable. But since you're in Japan, you can't really make a fuss about it.
Yeah. I tried, and they didn't want to hear me out.
No, you're not gonna win.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, you should have known the rules before.
Okay, you should have picked a better place.
I told them that too, but anyway, it's water under the bridge, man. What's new?
Nothing.
No, something gotta be new in powerlifting. There has to be something new, like
just
a goal that you're going for.
Just prepping for this meet, and then if I don't do this meet, then I believe I can do nationals next year, unless I have to do a qualifier. But yeah.
Yeah. Are you on the island much longer?
I'm leaving in August.
Soon. That's
Is it?
yeah.
Yeah, so
it comes really quick.
I don't know when I'll find out. Well, I don't know where I'm going, but I'll find out in May.
In May.
Yeah. And I'm going back to the States.
Yeah. You know what?
Make that face.
Because I just had my one of my best friends leave too, and I'm always stuck in these positions where you meet people that are so cool, and then they end up leaving.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just always in conflict with it. I don't know how to feel about it, but it is what it is.
Come back to the States. Would you go back to the States?
No, honestly, I went back recently, right? And I don't want to spend too long on this because it's not about me. But I went back recently, and it was quite refreshing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Went
DC?
Georgia. No, went Georgia, and I went Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Was there for roughly like in total a month.
Okay.
Yeah. Total month. So it was pretty cool, man. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was bad as you're dreading
it.
Yeah.
I saw my mom this last nationals. I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm coming back to the States, and she's like, yeah. I said no, and she was like, oh, you'll get, excuse me. She's like, you'll get used to it. You'll adapt. I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, you will get used to it, but the problem is everyone that leaves, they're always like, man, dude, I need to figure out how to come back to Oki.
Yeah. Come back to Japan, yeah.
Yeah, I speak to Ray quite often. He says the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know my thing with the States, it's not even like anything that has to do with the news, media, people, violence. It's none of that. It's just so huge, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's so big.
Everything is big. Cars are big. Houses are, relatively big.
Yeah, everything's so big. It just makes me feel too small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I'm too small or too insignificant for anyone to care about. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Something about the States just made me feel like that.
All the reasons you just listed, and it's not about that, is that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you'd be fine though. I think, yeah, you've been living there most of your life.
Yeah, I've been overseas most of my career.
Yeah, this is your second tour in Oki.
Yeah, and I was in England before, and then
Alaska.
Like you
get the best fucking.
That's what everybody says. They're like, "Who do you know?" I'm like, "I don't know anybody."
It's probably your Emma West, but yeah, you got pretty good orders, man.
Yeah.
To come at Oki twice.
Yeah, well, Misawa and now Oki, so all I got left is Dakota.
Is that what you're like?
Maybe I put it on. I put it on my dream sheet. Yeah, I put it on my dream sheet. So if I get it, I wouldn't even be mad if I got that. Just move right up the street.
What would number one spot be though?
I really wanted to go back to Alaska. Believe it or not. Why do you say that?
I don't say that for the reason of being Alaska. I say that's not what I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
Right, it'd be kind of boring.
Hey, look, boring is fine. I'm good with boring.
But
Alaska's it's like the States, but it's not at the same time because it's like everyone during COVID was talking about how they had to stay in their house and how everything was locked down. Alaska was, for the most part, where I was at, it was pretty open. There were people, like, I would go to work, you could go into stores or whatever. You still had to do your social distancing and stuff like that, wear your mask, which people were upset about. But, like, we're outside. And I heard that, there are some places people couldn't even go outside. Like, we're outside. I was driving down the highway one time, and I was behind this truck, and it had Open Alaska again. And I'm like, but we're literally outside on the highway right now. Like, what are you talking about? So, I don't know. Alaska, it was a nice assignment. I liked it. The weather, it snows. You're going to Alaska, you already know. So, it's going to snow. But, the scenery was beautiful. I don't know. I just really liked it up there. Yeah. Yeah.
You're obviously introverted.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I liked it. Because it's out of the way of everyone.
Yeah. I was just thinking though too. How would that benefit your career? Not military powerlifting, being in Alaska, or just being back stateside in general should benefit it, right? Because you're gonna be closer to everything.
Yeah.
But it's not really affected out here, too, is it? You're not allowing it to affect you.
No.
Okay, that's what it is. You're actually putting in that effort to book these flights, to go to these places and stuff like that. the financial burden, it's gotta be crazy, bro.
Shout out to SBD.
Okay, yeah, because I was about to say, I'll be traveling and I need to stay my ass in the house.
Yeah.
For real, because you're out there, you know what I mean? You're not home cooking food. You gotta eat, and you gotta eat 3 times a day. So, depends. But
it's so expensive. I went to Reno, and the hotel I was staying in, it was in a casino. So it was a casino hotel. They don't have microwaves in the room. I could have, just done frozen meals. But no, I was door dashing everything because it was like between $16 and $24 to get a lift in one direction. So I got to get a lift there, pay that $16 to $24, eat or do whatever I have to do, make my purchases, and then come back. And I got to do that multiple times a day.
Yeah.
It was expensive.
And then everybody wants a tip. What's up with
that?
Yo,
that's why I don't want to go to the States either.
What's up with that, dude?
Yeah,
I was in Subway and they asked me for a tip. I'm like, what?
Get a better job, something. I don't know. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I can't.
Bro, everywhere you go, they're asking for a tip. They got their hand out. Yeah, and I'm like...
It's like, I just ordered a coffee and you took my order. Why do you need a tip? Why is that even an option?
Yeah, why is that an option? That's so crazy, man. The States, there's a lot that definitely needs to be done, man. But honestly, I think you could agree too, even so, because you're well traveled, right? Like, even as bad as it is, it's still like the best place to be.
Yeah.
One of the best, at least for us too, people of color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The United States is one of the only places, or probably the only place in the world where you could actually be nobody and come up and be a millionaire, especially if you look like us. So I don't get why people talk so much crap about the States. I think it's a lack of exposure to anything else and to see how actually other people around the world kind of lives.
Yeah. I mean, it still has its drawbacks. It's not like you can just be a person of color and be like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be a millionaire. It doesn't. Yeah.
Absolutely. But
you still have your barriers and your gatekeepers and stuff like that.
Yeah. But the barriers and gatekeepers are nothing what's compared to any other country. Whatever country you want to throw in there, that's up to you. It's totally different, man. Powerlifting for 9 years. Introvert. How is this conversation good for you?
Because I like talking to you and because you're a good host, it's easy.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm trying to be better, man. I always get compliments on it, but honestly, I just like doing it.
Yeah, you're a natural. Joe Rogan, watch out. Why are you laughing? We're putting it out there in the universe. The next podcast of yours I want to be on. I want to be in the studio. Gonna be lights. We're gonna have multiple cameras. We're gonna have mic stands. We gonna have drinks.
You got a drink?
Nah, we gonna have alcohol.
Alcohol, yeah. We gotta do this again. Hopefully before you leave. I do want to do this again.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Yeah, I wanted to do Ian again too, but I don't know.
We'll do all of us.
Yeah, we could do that. I gotta make some room in here, but we could do that for sure.
Yeah. So he can stand over there, and we can sit here.
You have Ian stand?
No, he can sit in the chair.
That's good. Your coach. You mentioned your coach earlier in regards to the numbers and sending. This was a plan before in regards to these numbers for this upcoming meet.
Yeah.
And everything is, your words, everything is trending where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Right? How often have you switched coaches since you started your career?
No, I've had the same coach.
For 9 years?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah, I've had the same coach. He saw me, so I did.
Dun, dun, dun.
I did a meet. So I did bodybuilding, like we said. And then that was like in July of whatever year. And then that following February, Yokota was having a big powerlifting competition. Everyone was like, oh, you should do it. So I went down to Yokota. I did that. And I was like, well, I just want to try my hand at the States and see what it's like. See how I stack up against people in the States. And then some guy, I don't even remember, but some guy, he was like, oh, you're good on base, but you won't be good in the States because everyone's bigger, faster, stronger. I was like, yeah, okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I forgot. I don't remember. I just remember what he said. He was just like, yeah, you're good on base, but when you go to the States, everyone is bigger, faster, stronger. So you're not going to be as good. And I'm really glad I didn't listen to him. I was like, okay. But after I did that Yokota meet, I was like, I want to try my hand at the States. So I found a meet. It was in Virginia Beach. I did that. That was my first like official powerlifting meet. And I did really well. I qualified for nationals actually at that meet. And then 2 weeks later, because I'm coaching myself and doing, I won't even say I'm coaching myself. I'm just going to the gym and just doing bicep curls. Like, I don't know gym broing it. I don't know what I'm doing. And so then I do a meet 2 weeks later, which I didn't know that was a thing that you're not supposed to do, but whatever. Brand new, newbie gains. Do this meet, and the head ref comes up to me later, and he was like, hey, have you ever thought about coaching? He was like, because I'm interested in coaching you. And I said, okay, like, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know. I'm new to powerlifting at this point, and I don't know anything about coaching, handling, nutrition, programming, nothing like that. Yeah. And so I just kind of been with him for like the past 7 years. Yeah, 7 years coming up.
I take these moments to pause because it just brings me back to who Dayna is as a human being. And it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like when it clicks, it clicks. You've never had another coach since you've started, right? And I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm just piecing who you are together, and it just makes sense. You like commitment, and once you have commitment,
yeah, pretty much,
you don't deviate from it, right?
Yeah.
You joined, or whatever the case may be, and you were like, yeah, I already know, like, I'm not about to get out. Like, I probably should take my PT test more serious or something, right? Probably should have. Yeah, you like commitment, and then you like it for the long haul.
Yeah. I'm scared. I don't like change.
Yeah, it definitely comes off that way. So, my next question would be, do you think that's to your detriment or to your benefit?
You know, in powerlifting, I don't know. Because there have been plenty of times when I was upset with my coach. And
yeah, we're coming for you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if I want him as a coach anymore. And I've joked around with him, like, after a meet. I'm like, yeah, I fired you, like, 4 times in my head. But really, there was a point in time when I was, like, actually looking at other coaches. And I'm like, well, I don't know if they'll take me because, you know, I just made up excuses in my head as to why, you know, this coach over here wouldn't take me. Or maybe they have, like, a girl in my weight class. And that would be like a conflict of interest for them. I don't know. Like I said, I was just making stuff up in my head. And so I've just stayed with him. And then, like, you know, with coaching and, you know, just getting to know people, you iron the wrinkles out. And I think we're pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't been fired for like 2 years.
No, shouts out to, what's his name?
Ross.
Yeah. And what does he coach? Does he have
so he coaches out of Reactive Training Systems. So Reactive Training Systems, that's like the coaching team. And Ross is one of the coaches for RTS.
Huh. You saw what I did there?
Yeah.
You did it? All right, yeah, cool. I'm just making sure. I'm making sure that they saw what I did there. I don't know. I'm corny like that sometimes.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm corny too.
Your corny isn't funny corny. Your corny is actual corny.
Wow.
just say it.
Okay.
7 years, man. And how I'm intrigued, right? Because I can't seem to do anything that long unless, like, I'm obligated to by the government. Hence my last marriage. I'm just...
Wow. Wow.
No, but 7 years is a long time.
Yeah, it is.
For you not to... I mean, of course, you've had the thought of actually getting rid of him, but even so, I'd just get rid of someone off the fact that it's been 7 years, bro. Like,
yeah,
I need to see something new.
I don't know why I've stayed with him for so long. Maybe it's familiarity.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with him, and then switching over to somebody else might be kind of like, well, with my last coach, we didn't do this. We did this instead. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe I just don't really like change.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Always goes back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still very intriguing though. That you guys like the form of commitment. Did you grow up in one place for very long?
Grew up a military brat. Always moving.
Seriously?
Always changing schools. Yeah, like on average, like once every 3 years.
So could that be it too? In the fact that over here trying to be a psychologist and shit.
Get comfortable on the couch.
Right now, because I'm actually really trying to answer the question for myself now, right? Because in the sense of always having to leave something familiar, your environment, now you cling to anyone that you could actually not necessarily cling to anyone, but saying cling to somebody that you could be with long term, and not relationship wise, but it is relationship wise. This relationship specifically though is my coach and mentee. Could be.
Maybe it's because like I've seen just coming up in fitness, it's like people change coaches constantly because like maybe they can't do this, or maybe they're, for whatever reason, they're always changing coaches, and it's never their fault. It's always the coach's fault. So maybe I just stuck with him just to see where it would go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm also sponsored by them, so that's very enticing too. I look at other coaches and see what they're charging. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just stick with this.
That's very honest. Yeah, let's just keep with that reason. That's the best reason.
That's probably the real reason.
That's funny. Yeah. What are some mistakes that you'd go back and tell your younger self, not to make in your powerlifting journey right now?
Do bench. I would say, because right now bench is like my biggest holdback in having like a better total, even though like I think my squats come a long way. My deadlift has always like been top notch, but bench has always been one of those things where it's just like it's not good. Yeah. So I would tell myself to take bench more seriously, do all of the bench accessories, read the rule book, learn about powerlifting, because there was a meet in 2018 where powerlifting is kind of nuanced. So they have this thing called lot numbers. So you have people who, you have body weight. And if two people have the same total in their title and body weight, then it goes down to lot number. And I think it's the person with the higher lot number who can go first. Who wins. But then also, like, if you have two people doing the same weight, I think the person with the higher lot number has to go first. So if we're deadlifting, if we both put in the same number, I have to go first. If that makes sense. No?
Just, I have to lift first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to lift before you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if
But there was a mistake at Nationals 2018, and me and another lifter had the same number inputted, and then I had to go first, but we weren't tracking. Me and my coach weren't tracking the rules. So I would just say to my younger self, learn the rules, like learn them, know them, do bench, and it gets better. Yeah, don't quit.
Don't quit. Yeah. Wait, you still haven't quit yet?
I've taken breaks before with the intention of not coming back, and then my brother would talk me into it. My coach, he'll be like, "Whoa, let's get on a call. Let's talk about it. Let's see where your head's at," and then I'll just stick with it.
Yeah, don't stop. You stop for what? Everyone's out there looking for the fountain of youth, right? The cure for like youthfulness, and it's like Dayna's doing it right now.
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it.
You're lifting heavy and you're eating right.
Am I eating right though?
You look phenomenal,
I just had the fried chicken from Lawson's.
Yeah, you could eat a fried chicken. There's someone watching this or probably not watching this that doesn't need to eat that fried chicken.
Oh shit!
But you could definitely eat a fried chicken. Right? Yeah. You're good. You're totally fine. Why would you consider it even now after coming so far?
Because there just gets a point in time when you don't get strong forever. You're not on top forever. And then it's like when you have like the new class coming from because there's like always people that are younger than you. So like the new class is coming in. These girls are strong. You said you don't pay attention to powerlifting, but I'm seeing like these teenagers and they're lifting like crazy amounts of weight.
Well, I see them. Well, I'm not paying attention, but I see them. Yeah. I see them on the Instagram and on the YouTube.
And then when they compete, it's just like, damn, I started this when I was, how old was I? I was in my 30s when I started. I'm still in my 30s, but like I was in my early 30s when I started. And like people are starting, when they're 19. And so they have all this time for gains and stuff. And it's just like, maybe maybe I will quit.
Yeah,
you know,
it could be a little discouraging.
Yeah,
definitely. Most of the because we're around the same age. Most of the guy, well, it's now becoming a thing. Where the black belts are now starting to be like 19 years old, 20, right? Because they started doing jiu-jitsu from when they were like yay high.
Yeah.
So technically they're rated because they've been doing it for so long and they have the experience and the knowledge base, right? You're like, bro, this dude is 19. He's a black belt just whooping my ass. Yeah. And it is very discouraging. You're like, why did I even try? Yeah. Yeah. So I could sympathize with you there for sure. But I'd argue against it because I'm a fan and I always will be. You know what I mean? I'm always in your corner and rooting for you because, well, one, I know you. Yeah, thank you. Right? It makes it easy. And two, yeah, you're cool, man. It's always been love. And every time I saw you at the gym or that corner, I'd be like, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did see your corner a couple times.
I'm like, why are you here? It's the weirdest place for me to ever see it. You're like, oh, well, I live over there. I'm like, no way. Yeah. And you chose to live in such a weird place, too.
No, it's a perfect place.
Huh?
Perfect place.
Yeah, it's a good area.
For me, it's perfect.
It's just whenever you start farming, man.
Oh yeah. I didn't know what was going on, so I have 2 cats, and I thought they're litter box. I'm like, I just cleaned it. Why does it smell like this inside my house?
Yeah, no. Yeah. No bueno.
Yeah, it gets bad.
Yeah, no bueno. Yeah. Man. Going back to the States, how are you preparing?
What do you mean?
Just mentally.
Oh, same way. So, you talking about for powerlifting or just like
life? Oh, you know what I mean? Because it's a huge deal.
It's just another move. Yeah, you know, I have to do it.
You're a vet, so you're so used to doing this.
I'm actually trying to start prepping right now by getting rid of stuff, so I don't have that much stuff to travel with, and yeah, I don't know where I'm going, so I can't really look at any places to live right now, or I don't have a car right now, so look and see like what the car scene is like, you know, just in terms of like just buying a car. I'm not looking for anything specific, just so once I have that information, then I can start like mentally prepping better to go.
Well, you've had a very long career in a sense of like you're now on looking at the horizon of like, what am I gonna do? Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. How does that feel?
It's kind of surreal because it's like time flies. Like I remember when I was younger and people were like, oh yeah, 20 years, it just flies by. It's like, it's 20 years. How's that fly by? But it does. It just, time flies and it doesn't slow down. It doesn't seem like, it just seems like it's getting faster and faster and faster. And I don't know, just, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, now I'm looking at like the next step, and it's just like, it's here already. Like I was just over at the club, you know, just Soulja Boying it up like not too long ago. That was like 5 years ago.
Stop it. You know what's so funny, dude? I legit had this conversation yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We live in a simulation.
We do.
That's why.
We do. Well, not the same exact conversation, but he brought up Soulja Boy. Yeah. He was like, dude, no lie. What made me feel so old was Soulja Boy came on somewhere he was at, and this girl was, you know, talking or singing along to the song. But then he asked her, like, you know how to do the dance? And she was like, no, I didn't know, like, there was a dance associated with it. And he was like, no way. He didn't know how to. So he started doing the Soulja Boy dance and teaching her. And I was like, bro, you're old. You're showing your age right now. I was like, that's crazy to think that we're now considered old. Yeah. Or a way to classify you as old is if you know Soulja Boy or the dance. Yeah. That's fucking insane. Yeah.
Like, a lot of music now, has like a lot of samples from the 90s, and so I know all those songs.
That's true.
And so like whenever I bring it up, like people just look at me like, damn, you're old, like why do you know this? But then those samples it's crazy because like when I was growing up, I heard like when the producers or stuff made the 90s remixes, and then I also heard the originals like from the 70s and 80s because my parents just always listen to music. And so it just kind of baffles me that like the kids now don't understand that this song came from, like, is the remake of a 90s song, which is a remake of something from the 70s or the 80s. It's
all sample. Yeah.
Didn't Prince say that we're going to start, music is just going to be a sample of a sample or something like that? I think he said something
possibly.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is now.
Yeah, it very much is.
Yeah.
Very much is. Excuse me. That was an actual dramatic ass pause for that burp too.
Yeah, it was. I was waiting for it to come out. Just let it out. What did you tell me earlier? Just let it out. Don't be shy.
Yeah. That was off cam.
Yeah.
That was a little bit off.
Oh, my bad. Don't be cute.
But I was.
Oh, you're trying to be cute.
You gotta be cute on cam though. You can't be cute. Okay.
I'm glad you said that because I was like, I was about to. Never mind.
It's about what?
As soon as you turn the camera off, you'll find out.
That's funny as fuck, bro, because I legit did say that earlier too. I was like, yeah, just burp, bro. Like, just trying to be cute for. And then here I'm over here like.
I'm trying to be cute.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I'm sad you're about to leave, man. Everybody's leaving me. But it's always this, though. Mm-hmm. I meet these fantastic people, and then you build somewhat of a good relationship with them, and then they turn around and leave. Yeah. And I ask you these questions too in regards to like your horizon and stuff like that too. Might sound a bit selfish, but for me as well too, because I'm starting to look at myself as like, damn, like what's my next? Sounds cliche, but what does my next chapter look like?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I won't say that I'm afraid of it. I just say that I'm doing everything that I love to do right now, so that way whenever I am in it, or whenever I am aware that I am in my next chapter, that hopefully I'd be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just as of right now, I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, kind of anticipating the next step. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, like when you think about it, like because I don't know, maybe it's like, I don't want to get all deep, but it might be like,
no, okay.
You looking at, like, before you're young, you're not thinking about what's going to happen in the next, 10, 15 years. And then, like, when you get to that point, you're like, oh, shit, I need to actually start preparing for my future. And then it's like, once you get there, it's like, damn, I'm getting old. I maybe it's like a morality thing. Like, damn, I'm almost dead. But I don't know. But that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. It's like, damn, like, this one girl at work, she called me. She was like, yeah, you're like an auntie. I'm like, but I'm not old, though. But then I think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I was born in the late 1900s, so
yeah. We're a little bit old to them.
Yeah. But I don't feel old.
Neither do I.
Yeah, but I don't want to come across as that one person who can't grow up. Like, I don't want to be like that old. You ever been to the club and see that old person in there? I'm like, yo, what are you doing here?
Bro, look,
and they've been going there for the past 20 years because they can't let go. Like, I don't want to be like that.
I don't know why we have these conversations. You might be right. It might be in a simulation, man, because I legit was just same thing.
Oh, yeah? Talking to somebody else about this?
Yeah. I was like, bro, please, I can never be 40 in the club.
Yeah.
I was like, I barely don't
on purpose.
I don't even want to do it at 30. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it at 30. And like, I see those guys at like 40 plus in a club. Like,
yeah. And it's like you're here every weekend.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm gay. Like, you're living like a king. Like, you're retired. You don't have anything to worry about. Like, this is your way.
Don't go to the club, though.
Don't go to the club.
Go to a museum. Find something else to do. Find something else to do.
Yeah, but don't go to the club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, damn, you're out here with me. And I know that I'm fighting for my life the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, how are you surviving?
Yeah. Yeah.
It don't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't want to be the person that can't let go. Like, right now, I listen to people complain about, like, the current. I always go back to music because I feel like music is, like, my, like, little happy place. People complain about, like, the current state of music. I listen to, a lot of the little rappers or whatever, and, some of the singers. It's not good, but, I know the songs, but I don't want to be like that old person that just, like I said, that just can't let go.
Yeah.
That just doesn't want to grow up. Like, I'm just going to latch on, like, to the next generation, and then those are going to be my friends. But really, like, I do remember hanging around older people when I was, like, in my 20s, hanging around, like, 35, 40-year-olds. And I'm like, okay, they're cool. But then I think about it, I'm like, damn, go home. Why are we here? Why are we out here together? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why are we taking shots together? You don't have anything better to do? You don't have any friends your age? Grow up.
Dang. For real?
Yeah. Like, I don't, like, that's, like, just the biggest... I don't want to be, like, one of those cool people. Have you seen Mean Girls?
Yeah, I've seen
And she was like, I'm not, like, one of those old moms. I'm a cool mom. Like, I'm not trying to be like that. That's corny to me.
That's mad corny.
It's sad.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. I think you're great. You don't... Like I said, you don't come off like that person at all. And to even go back earlier, you hit it right on the nail, man. I think I am exactly what you just described. I'm in that place where I'm starting to not necessarily realize my morality, because I'm always cognitive of how life is short. You know, death has been something that's been very close to me since a young age, unfortunately. So I'm always cognitive of that. So it's not my morality, but it's more of okay, I need to start protecting future me. Yeah. I need to start looking out for future me, and like, okay, well, I have things to lose now, so now I need to start thinking about my daughter and stuff like that. I can't be...
You can't be in the club. Yeah. You got to be at her recital the next day.
Exactly. Or I can't be, making the mistakes a 22-year-old is allowed to make.
Yeah. Can you imagine being 40 and making those same mistakes? It's like, you 40 though. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Yeah.
You can be doing that, man. Yeah. So, I'm hoping this is it. I've been talking to some people about it. I just kind of want to get back to the basics of, like, what I love to do, and, just cooking with the podcast, and literally cooking and being in a house, man.
You cook?
Yeah, I cook.
What do you make?
I got some, are you in prep?
No.
I
just had a piece of fried chicken.
Shoot. I got some, I made some pasta yesterday, actually, and some basil garlic butter bread. I could whip up really quick. I don't know if I have too much chicken yet, though, but I'll just do something a little slight for you. Yeah, cool. All right, I got you. I think we are coming up around that time, though, for the actual podcast. This been right for like 45 minutes. Oh, that's it? Yeah, we normally shoot for like 45 minutes to like an hour. Yeah. Don't do anything longer than that, though. But with that being said, Dayna, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to leave the people them with, or just some last words? Damn. A little bit of yourself. Or something. You said what?
Follow me on Instagram
No, we not doing. No, that's not it.
A little
something heartfelt. Something somebody told you, or something a grandparent said to you a while back that stuck with you, or anything you like to leave in the world. Once we're fine dust. And this is still on the internet.
This is something that I think about quite often. Maybe not quite often, but I think about it a lot. Okay. So whenever you're like down, I'm not saying like this is a cure for depression or anything, but like whenever you're down and just trying to pick yourself back up. My grandmother told me, because I was a crybaby when I was little. I don't know if you could tell or not, but I used to cry all the time. She would say, Don't let your chin touch your chest. Meaning, like, don't look down, don't be sad, hold your chin up, be confident. Try to think of something happy and positive, and that's what I got. I'm sorry, that's the best I got right now.
No, you're good. That was great. Absolutely, man. All right, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Special thanks for Dayna again for taking time out of her busy schedule to come out. Glad that she was able to make it. I came too. Right? Yeah. I'm glad you're here, man. Shouts out to SBD for sponsoring her too, as well as, what's your team name?
RTS, Reactive Training Systems.
Reactive Training Systems. And shouts out to Ross, man. You know what I mean? Over there, training Dayna and being a faithful coach to her for the last 7 years, man. Yeah. The work you've done is obviously shows for itself. I see Dayna in the gym all the time, and I'm like, dude, she's magnificent, man. Just sculpted, yeah. So I'll always give you flowers, man. Anyways, that's what we got, man. Peace.